All right, all right. So here we are again at this beautiful location, Blot's beautiful podcast. You know me, I'm Mr. Lucky, and this is our show, Following the Signs. I'm here with my co-host, Benita.
Hello, everybody.
Yes, I'm with Benita, and so we're here to deliver a Christmas show to you. We're here to, actually, this is our 8th week actually doing these podcasts, and it's been such an honor. It's been such a pleasure to be here and bring these messages to you and to your friends and family. We'll be doing it again in 2023. So you haven't seen the last of us yet.
Amen.
So I'd like to give a shout out to some people that have been very supportive with me. My sister Cynthia. I would love to thank her right now for her excellent advice in presenting this podcast and getting me up to the speed that I need to be to deliver a complete and honest message. Also, there's always a tiger in the woods, and I'd like to always give a shout out to someone who has really been inspirational to me. I'd like to say hi, Brandy. Well, this list goes on and on. So I don't know, Benita, have you got anyone you'd like to give out a shout while we're shouting?
Oh, sure do. My girlfriend I used to work with, her name is Tayana. She has a beauty shop salon down the street. It's on 200th Street, and the name of the shop is Always Beautiful. She's very professional, and she does a really good job. Hey, Tayana.
Yeah, so again, we like to thank you. Thank you for your participation in our show. We love it. All right, so like I say again, I'm broadcasting live from the Beautiful Blot Podcast Network. Blot has our future in its everyday concerns. It's building business leaders of tomorrow, today.
And we appreciate it as well.
And you can find Blot at 503 East 200th Street. Oh, God. Here's Xavier. So now we really got to we got to get some announcements out. But you got any announcements out here today?
Sure I do. We're Following the Signs is offering classes every Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. at Lucky Charms and Supply Store. The address is 6408 St. Clair Avenue. The phone number is 216-924-8834. All are welcome. Please come and enjoy yourself. Thank you.
I think that is nice. I mean, you were at the class last night, weren't you?
Yes, it was so wonderful. It was just very exciting. We went through way more than we were supposed to.
Yeah, we never do.
Fun.
We always got more to do.
It's always something. We went from one subject to another subject. It was just fun.
Yeah.
All the way around.
So we need more people to come in. We need more participants. You can call at 216-924-8834 and come join me and Benita on 2023.
January.
In January. Starting in January. We're going to start off having a real good time. Mm-hmm. So come and join us.
It was awesome.
So you know that there's a storm coming, and I can tell you, the weather outside is going to be very frightful. It's going to be very frightful, but not as frightful as you taking your car to a terrible repair shop. Mm. That's more frightful. So I asked you, Mr. Lucky, to take your car to Touch Above Auto, where you can find affordable, fair pricing with professional service, and your car will definitely be taken care of. That is my guarantee. You can call Don at 216-862-1841, and they're located off St. Clair at 2530 Hamilton Avenue. The best place you could take your car, I guarantee. And you talk about fair, you haven't seen fair until you talk to Don. So I implore you to take your car there if you're having any difficulties with your car going forward. So I think that's it for our announcements today. We were scheduled to have a conversation, but it was such a awkward conversation that we were sort of hesitant about bringing it out. What we wanted to do was to let people know that we see in our community that there's so many issues that we're not addressing. And we're not addressing them because we don't want to address them. You understand what I mean? Right. We're addressing them because we have a code out here in this world. It's a code of silence. And this code of silence is making us live in a culture and have a behavior of silence. Now, This behavior generates different attitudes and different perspectives that we take on and we implement with our natures. Every day with our neighbors. So let's talk about it. So our community is the most important group that we will ever encounter in our lives. We see them every day. Because our community creates a building block that makes it possible for everyone to survive and to live together in peace. And that's very important. That's why we buy our homes in certain places and neighborhoods, because we want to have a culture that can create a building block for our children to stand on, a foundation of peace, survival, and working together. Our communities today are riddled with some of the most destructive issues on this planet today, and they're not getting better. They're just getting worse. So, with that being said, let's talk about one of the reasons. So, most of the reasons that it's taking so long for us to solve these problems is that amongst one another we live in secrets and in blind silence. And that's what we're talking about here today. We see it in our neighborhood, in our community, but we ignore it. But I'd like to bring it to the forefront today. Going into the new year, we need to go into the new year with a change of attitude. Correct. We need to go into it with a different perspective. We keep and create secrets for the advantage of rewards and for rescue from spoken reality. Now, if you don't understand what I just said, I'll say it in another way. Because if we keep a secret that we know should be addressed, we will be rewarded from that secret. We'll be rewarded in a way that we have an opportunity to look down on that person. We have an opportunity to sit back and ridicule and point our finger and talk about. And that seems to be one of the things that most people today are more interested in than solving a problem. You know, if we can turn life into comedy, we take every advantage we can do. We get to do that. And one of the problems in our community is that's what we're doing. We're taking reality and we're making a comedy out of it, a comedy show, because we want to keep a secret amongst ourselves or a secret amongst our friends about what this other person is going through. So one of the dangers in keeping and supporting this type of behavior is it introduces us to a relentless culture. And, you know, America is a place of secrets and cultures. You know, they did the Boston Tea Party, and because they dressed up like Indians, they kept that secret. You know, many times they found black families that wanted to vote and they did things that would hurt them. Well, all of the community knew who did it, but because they kept that secret, it rescued them from starving, because the people who wanted to keep that secret kept would bring them food if they kept their mouth shut. So it's always a reward that comes along with this silence in our neighborhood. But most of the reward is not really well founded. So this culture of silence, which we live in every day, well, I remember, let's do it like this. I remember when I lived with my grandmother. And let me tell you something about Grandma. Grandma was a very, very outspoken woman. And she had no problem letting you know how she felt. So everyone in our house, everyone in our home would talk to Grandma about their problems. Grandmother knew everything about everybody's business in that house. And that house could never have been run any better. Anytime we would go out to eat, or anytime we would have meals at home, or we'd have company come by, everybody knew everybody's secret. So that the reality that all of us lived under was a reality of understanding. Because not only is it that you do something that you want to keep a secret from, it's that there's a reality that you don't want to feel that there's a secret behind the secret. It's hard to explain. Maybe I'll get back to it. All right, so at the dinner table, like I said, we all knew what everybody was going to do, and we all knew how everybody thought. So that made it more pleasant and made our surroundings much better. So anyway, I'll round it off with this. So what we can do to be successful in our community is to understand that we all have an equal amount of responsibility to share in honesty, in truth, and in loyalty with our neighbors. So there's a lot of reasons, there's a lot of causes for this type of behavior. And I will let Benita touch on some of these causes because it's very important.
Thank you, Mr. Lucky. Well, it's a lot of cultural silence in workplaces, education, and it builds up stress and anxiety. And you can't tell it to everybody. I guess that's how you would feel. So sometimes you keep it to yourself. And then when you keep it to yourself, it doesn't go anywhere. So sometimes I would feel like you need to write it down or tell somebody else so they can maybe help you with the anxiety or stress that you have. And sometimes that relieves things. Me, myself, as I write stuff down like I was writing my book and it's all about me. You know, I wrote it down and I thought about it and looked at it over and over again. And it come to a conclusion that all the stuff that was building up in me, I had put on paper and I read it and I'm like, oh my goodness, all this stuff happened to me, you know, in my life. And I could just imagine what's going on with someone else in their life too as well. It's very painful. It's not good to tell it, you know, as you would say, not to everybody, but if you, like, whatever on your mind, you need to write it down. You'd be surprised what you would go through to get through to your problem, from your problem. Sometimes you can write a book about your autobiography or something like that, and it will be relieved. You'd be surprised at what you could do with your mind or whatever happened to your life. You could be stress-free after all that. You know, you got to let it out somewhere, so I would do that if it was me. I'm just saying, just me. And then, you know, as far as lying, you might go to work or something like that. Somebody keep picking with you at work. You don't want to tell it because you don't want to get fired, stuff like that, you know. Sometimes you just need to write stuff down. Just imagine you going through a whole day and this guy you worried about before you even go to work, what's going to happen today? You know, like, okay, is it going to pick with me today or something like that? It's stressing women. You know, you have predators in women. You have predator guys. You'd be surprised about all the stuff that you go through. Everyday life is a cultural silence in someone's life every day. Mr. Lucky.
Yeah. So
and education as well. My bad.
I think education is important too. I hope you get back on that, and then you can
will.
we talk about education.
Okay.
You know, when we're in a group, we're in our community. The most dreadful thing in our community is when people talk amongst the community. It seems that at that point everyone hides because there's a secret that hasn't been told, and they feel like if they can just get away from the crowd, then they can find a place to hide, because the spoken word is reality. Okay. And people are running from that. That tends to have a withdrawal in our community. It takes people away from the responsibility of dealing with what's going on in the community so they can solve some of the problems that riddles our community. See, one of the reasons that they do this is because if they can stay away from the conversation when things are spoken, then that's a form of rescuing themselves from the obligations that go along with facing their responsibilities and the challenges that it takes for them to overcome these responsibilities and do the right thing. Because believe me, in every secret, there's a lie. And in every lie, there's a little truth. Now, I could be wrong. So, I mean, if you could give me a call at 216-924-8834, call Mr. Lucky and let me know if I seem to be on the wrong track here. But in every secret, there's a lie, and in every lie, there's a little truth. So let's reflect on where the truth takes us over a secret. You know, when you want to get over the anxieties that Benita was talking about, the first thing the psychiatrist would do is to put you in a comfortable position and get you to open up and tell the truth. Just like Benita says, what she does is she goes somewhere alone by herself and she writes these things down. Correct. And it's very important that once she opens up herself to see herself, then the secrets can come out. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of times when that comes out, the hurt and the pain that goes along with it comes with it.
Even if someone stops you and they have a problem with a neighbor or a friend or family member, just because they said, please listen to them because it's something important that they need to get off their chest. You need to really listen to them.
That's true. That's true. And, you know, you would think that's...
Don't shoot them away.
Yeah, you would think that that's a small thing to do because people don't have time now to listen to another person. Mm-hmm. But when you listen to people evade the subjects that are most important in our community, to ridicule and talk about people that they know they have secrets on, nobody is ever getting to the meat of the situations. people are going around and around and around in our community. They're walking past obvious things. There's a lot of people that I see that are homeless because no one wants to tell what this person's problem is.
Correct.
Nobody wants to step up and reveal that this person has been a victim of this, that, or the other, and that all they need is this much help. And believe me, in the community, together, we form a union. In that union, there's nothing that can't be accomplished. So once we get out of this cultural silence, secret community, don't tell attitude, our problems will be getting solved hand over foot every day, because that's the only way that it's going to happen. We have to bring back the trust. We have to bring back the honesty. We have to bring back the loyalty. You know, once you figure an opportunity out that says, if I catch this person around this time of year, now this is a beautiful time of year because it's Christmas. And whether people want to follow Christmas or not, we all have to agree that there's a spirit here. There's a spirit here around Christmas time. You know, you could, during Christmas time, you could look out your door and look at your neighbor, and your neighbor will look like your friend. And all of a sudden, you raise your hand up and speak to them, when normally you wouldn't say anything. But let's say that the reason that you raised your hand and spoke to them is because you wanted to break that silence. So there's an opportunity here to connect. And once you break that silence around this time of year and raise your hand, look how good you feel. There's a warming, there's an effect that comes over you.
And most of the times in this type of cultural silence, it's always about a relationship as well.
Definitely. In relationships, there's a lot going on. A lot of men are putting hands on women. And even to this day, there's a lot of women putting hands on men.
That's very true.
So, you know, who wants to talk about they got in a fight with their husband last night? So in this society, we don't have, in our culture, the money to go to a psychiatrist and pay $200 an hour for them to hear what our situation is. But it'll be so easy that if we can get away from this culture that we live in, this behavior of silence, if we can get away from that and just open up a little to a person, especially this time of year, to go in the back room and sit down and have a bourbon, or if that's what it takes.
Boy.
Or just go in the back room and have a conversation about some things. Start small and work your way to the meat of the problem. You'd be surprised how good you'll feel when it's over.
And if you have to cry and stuff like that, just let it out.
There you go.
You have to learn how to deal with stuff. Stuff do happen to you for real, but, you know, like I said, you need to let it out, write it down, tell somebody. Don't keep it a secret.
Don't keep it a secret. Some of the biggest secrets, and I remember growing up, one guy says, I never cry. Now, this was a secret. He cried, but he didn't want us to know that he cried. So when it finally came up that we caught him crying, okay, it was a relief for him. I think he cried more from joy at that point than from us catching him crying.
Wow.
You know, I think the obligation for us to stand up, and if we don't open up to someone about something that we're holding too tight to our chest, then we're going to implode. As a community, it's our responsibility to make a communication line with our neighbors. And the only way that that can happen is through trust, through honesty, and through loyalty. These things bring on a community. They bring on success in the community.
That's very true.
So it's very important. And so one of the other things that I wanted to talk about was the fact that during this time of year, which is Christmas, I ask everyone who could hear my voice to send this podcast to someone. This is a gift. You know, for me and Benita to be here and to be able to use our mouth, our eyes, our ears to give you a message, this is a gift. The gift is this gift. So we ask that you send this gift to someone that you love, someone who may need to open up, someone who may have secrets, and you can see that that's...
Share your thoughts.
Yeah, share your thoughts, because our message is clear. This is definitely affecting our community in a very drastic way, and we need to address it. It's destructive. It's very destructive.
It's very stressful. You could hurt someone else just by thinking of something. So if you not let it out, it could cause no more problem, you know, sometimes.
That's true. So, again, I say, when we deal with survival, which is where we are, not trying to get all over the place. But when we deal with survival, it's very important that we communicate truth with one another, because that's the only way that we can get that message to one another what to do next. And this is what's going on in our community. We're stagnated because we don't know how to make that next move. And a lot of us are standing still. A lot of us are stuck in one position. And they come and they say, well, what do I do? Well, first thing you got to do is open up, because you're holding everything too tight.
Right.
You need to open up, and that will allow you that freedom, the freedom that you're looking for. Because this is how this happens. And it's very important. This must be Governor Biden.
Don't get me laughing.
This must be
Preston Biden. Oh, me too. He's calling me too.
Wow. So we got a call already. Someone wants to know the technique.
Information.
So let's talk about the technique that comes with opening up.
Okay.
The first thing is the realization that you do have a problem. The second thing is to realize that there's someone out here that can help. And the third thing is that you have a voice. And your voice is from a gift. It's a given gift. And once you give that gift, you're going to be helping somebody else. Every time you open your mouth and you tell someone about the secrets and the silence that you've kept for so long, you're going to help somebody else.
And you can feel better about listening to someone else's. This is like an opportunity for you to let them open up and just let them talk.
True.
You feel so much better.
You know, in a lot of groups that I've participated in, I've noticed that once one talks, another person opens up too. And you'll find out that we talked about before, our similarities are really what binds us together as a group. It binds us together as a people. We're all holding secrets. There's something that we've done that, and I can't say we all, that's too general. There's a lot of us that are holding secrets. And they're affecting our relationship with our children. They're affecting our relationship with our husbands, and definitely affecting our relationship with our community.
Children.
You know, a lot of women don't understand this, and a lot of men don't understand this, but we're all similar in every way. We all have pain. We all cry. We all have fear. We all feel hopelessness, and we all have secrets. And in order to deal with the pain, you take a pill. Well, in order to deal with the secrets, you just take a chill. It's just time for you to sit back, relax, and like Miss Benita says, write these things down. You know, you can write them down, and if you don't like what you write, burn it and let it go back into the atmosphere. Mm-hmm. Following the Science wants you to understand that our community can only be together if we all are walking in the same direction. It's not about I go left and you go right, and we both are going to come up with a winning result. No, we're not. If we both go the same way, we'll come up with a winning result a lot easier. Following the Science, listen, this is our 8th time where we've been on the air. And Following the Science is out here to give you a message. It's trying to get you to understand a few things that are so common in our community that they're looked over.
It's life.
And we don't want you to think that no one can see these things. It's not that we live in, well, me and Miss Benita and Miss Brandy are just talking about anything. No. Following the Signs is asking you to watch what's going on around you. And as you see these things developing, what we're talking about, you can say to yourself, wow, I've heard that before. I know what this is about.
It happened to me.
Because I heard it on I've heard it on the podcast, and it's happened to me. So we're in that position right now in our lives in America today. Going into 2023, everything is so uncertain right now. Our economy is uncertain. Our relationship with other countries, our foreign countries, are uncertain. Our relationship right here in America is in turmoil. Our relationship with our money is changing. So there's things that's happening right now. But don't let it be something that tears us apart. Because all these things that are happening to tear us apart. And we need to relate to one another the truth, not silence and not a silent lie, to just say something, because if you say something, it will keep you from actually being ridiculed. It'll rescue you from being looked upon as not a part of it or not being a member of something. So this is where we are. We want you to open up. We want you to open
Socialize.
up and get out there with the people. It's easy when you open your mouth and start telling the truth. You start with a little truth, but actually after a while, it becomes so easy. And people will come around you because they're going to get the truth from you. They're not going to get a sugarcoat or push you away. And this is where we are. We're looking to cancel this culture before it gets any further. That's what's going on. That's our gift to you for Christmas. And if you can accept it, you can start right now. You don't have to wait. You can start right now. It's just as soon as this turn to the left or turn to the right, and the first person next to you, tell them that I love you.
And open your book and pray.
That's something that and pray. That's something a secret that we really try to keep away from one another. They think that if you say that there's a sickness in you or a weakness in you. When was the last time we looked over to a total stranger and said, I love you? Mm-hmm. And you know you do. Because humanity is put here to communicate with one another on the basis of feelings and emotions. Look over to a woman, whether or not you tell her, say, look, I'm just being friendly, but I care. You know, I see you with all this food in your cart, so I see you must have a lot of children. There's some things that's going on that maybe we can talk about and open that door for communication. It's a good time for it. Like I say, there's a spirit that's going on. This is a good time to connect and open up. And the sooner we start doing these things, the sooner our community will heal and mold and get better and get greater, and we'll accomplish more, and we'll be able to help other people, and all of these things. It's very important. So look forward to this future. Look forward to opening up and accepting the responsibility of not keeping any more secrets.
Helping each other.
From this point on, and help one another. You're saying to yourself from this point on, there's no more secrets that's going to come out of my mouth. If I know about something that's affecting me, I'm going to tell somebody. You know, and it's going to be somebody that I know I can trust because I know they have opened up and talked to me.
Correct.
So now there's an opening there. There's a way to get it going. So so I appreciate you, and you've been an excellent audience for these last 8 weeks.
We appreciate being here on BBLOT.
Blot Broadcast, the great Blot Broadcast Network. Yeah, we're having a great time. We're having a great time talking to you. The experience is going to last a lifetime.
Following the signs, everyone.
Follow the signs. Listen, when you follow the signs, you'll know where to go because you're going to head in that right direction. And that's where we want to lead you. We want to lead you in the right direction. We talked about the homeless. We talked about herbs. And that's one of the things, too, we need to talk about, too. When you start talking about dieting, because we got this New Year's resolution thing going, we're talking about the proper herbs that's gonna take to bring you to the realization that what you do. You can say, well, I went to the gym today. You ain't going to no gym. You ain't even re-roll by the gym so fast. They didn't even know it was you in the car. So let's not keep a secret about that. You don't want to tell someone how much you weigh. Okay, that's fine. But when you start eating properly, if you keep listening to following the signs, our mission is to bring the reality of our community to this existence.
Thank you, everyone.
And that's where we are. Yeah. Thank you. And thank you for being a part of Following the Signs. And I hope that you can share this with other people or come to me. It's Following the Signs at yahoo.com. And send us a message. Send us something that we can put our teeth into. Because you can see me, Miss Benita, we're ready. We're hot. We're on the track. So join us. Join me and join Miss Benita. So that's where we are today. And I appreciate you. And Merry Christmas.
Happy holiday.
Happy holiday.